Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever pregame UGASports pregame show. I'm Paul Maharry, joined alongside Dane Young. We're going to have hopefully Jed May and Anthony Dasher join us from the stadium to talk a little bit dogs with you guys. Glad to see you on a Saturday, Masters Saturday, but it's also G-Day Saturday, Dane.
It is.
Yeah,
sorry, we had Lance pop in like behind the scenes. I wanted to see what the view was back there, so that's why I paused. Yeah, Master Saturday is going to be fun, but G-Day, yeah, I think you don't learn a lot from players in these games, but it is fun to see, especially the new guys. And I think transfers as much as anything else, just the context that. We know what CJ Allen looks like on the field. All right. What does he look like on the field when across the line of scrimmage, maybe you have Colby Young coming across the middle? I just want to compare these new guys and see what they look like in red and black jerseys, really red and white jerseys, but whatever.
Right. Well, we'll get to see that plus much more. We've got a few folks in here. Rhett Womack watching. How you doing? Goat Dog. What's up, man? Andy Stowe says, loving the pregame POS. Well, I don't know if we're going to go overreaction here just yet. Well, we could
underreact.
That pullover's fire from Evan. I've got one on as well. You can't see it for how my camera is, but Go Dogs from Kevin Johns. We've got Dogs Rolling Loud in here. Scott Anderson said that Ohio State's doing non-tackling. And then I don't know if this is true or not. It might just be a meme. It might be true. Ole Miss is doing a 7-on-7.
I mean, I saw did they put out their rosters and they had like staff members, just people that worked in the athletic department on like rosters. Like, everyone's getting all willy-nilly with this spring game stuff. So
I saw a picture. I saw a picture. Maybe Evan can help us out. I know he's on Twitter a lot. See if that's real or not. They shorten it down to a 50-yard field, and they're gonna play 7-on-7 at Ole Miss. So who knows? Susie's in here. Rachel, what's up? We've got Melinda in here. Fred, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Eddie from Ackworth says the weather sucks. Yeah, all right. Mark Hood says go Dogs. Guys, I also have pulled up for you the two backup quarterbacks. We'll talk about those later because you're going to wonder where they came from. I've got you covered on that. But before we do that, Lance McCurley is going to join on with us. Lance, what's up, man? You're in the bowels of Sanford Stadium, it looks like.
Live from the photo room. Deep down here.
It's better than the bowels of Stegman Coliseum where they still have the urinal trough.
That bathroom is absolutely awful at the bottom of Stegman. And they still got like the water fountain, like circular that you wash your hands in. It looks like a urinal too.
It's a very communal restroom for sure.
Yeah. Who have you seen on the field so far, Lance, in terms of recruits and things of that nature? Have they popped out yet?
So I just ran into Justice Terry. Obviously the biggest recruit that Georgia has here this weekend. He obviously flipped to USC kind of out of the blue at like 8 a.m. on a Sunday. And he's here. I've seen Kevin win. I've seen a bunch of other guys. A lot of 2026 kids here today as well. I saw Jared Curtis, the number 2 quarterback in the country, that's committed to Georgia a few weeks ago.
How's he look?
Good size, kid, tall, lean. I saw him actually like kind of tossing the ball around with a staff member, and he can sling it. I'll give him that.
Okay. What are you looking forward to? You're going to be on the field. We've got Jed that just joined us. I'll get him here in a second. What are you looking forward to on the field, Lance? What are you going to be shooting? Who are you looking at the most? Lance, you there?
Now his mic's muted.
Now your mic's muted, Lance.
Let's
come back to earth.
We work for a professional media company.
Lance, your mic is muted, brother. Come back to earth with us. Unmute the mic. There we go.
Did y'all hear any of that?
No. So I said, who are you looking forward to shooting the most? Who are you looking at getting some pictures to UGASports subscribers?
Are we talking just like Georgia football, recruits?
Anybody? Yeah. Recruits, Georgia football.
I will tell you, Roderick Robinson looks like he's 42 years old in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, he is an absolute freaking beast. Lawson Luck, he's a good size guy. Looking forward to him. Oscar Del, really kind of seeing how those guys kind of handle the post Brock Bowers era.
There we go. Lance McCurley in the bowels of Sanford Stadium. Lance, we'll see you on the sidelines, my friend. Take it easy.
Yep. See y'all.
That's old Lance McCurley there. Good guy, Dane. Good guy. Let's see here. Do they do a dog? I don't think they do a dog walk.
Yeah, they had a dog walk for this.
They did. Nice. So yes, dogs rolling loud. They did do a dog walk.
We never know what time it is, so don't ask us that.
Right. Let's bring on the man. The whole reason we really made this show. We could talk to Jed May in the press box. Well, is it a press box? I don't know. They changed it up.
No, it is. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're all right.
It's an open press box, as you can tell. We're in the Champions Club on the north side of the stadium, which they had us here for the parade a couple years ago. But this is our press box for the day while they're building one onto the end of the skybox on the south side, which you can see it from over here. It looks kind of cool. I mean, the view isn't going to be as good, but, it is what it is.
So I saw you tweet out, Jed. Looks like Ryan Puglisi is not going to be playing today, right?
Yeah, he's got like a single crutch on his right side. He's got a left knee deal that he's been kind of dealing with since high school. He popped up with a brace, I want to say second week of spring. So nothing serious. Like, he'll be ready for the ball. If it was a real game, I would bet he'd be suited up. But no reason to risk it for G-Day. So Carson Beck and Gunnar Stockton are going to captain the two teams, and then we're going to see a lot of the walk-on types that I have against.
I also wouldn't be surprised if you saw Gunnar Stockton switch back and forth a little bit once Carson was checked out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't drop either.
We've got a lot of folks. We got Rhett Womack in the chat saying really want to see Robinson and Bolden, want to see Evans and Young blow up too. Who are you looking at, Jed? You've got a few stories you've got to write after this, obviously. If they could, put on a great show, who would you want to see it from so you could write that story?
I'm curious to see if Jacoby White does anything, because he's a freshman receiver. He's kind of made some plays through spring. He's the guy I saw in high school a lot. He can boss people. I'm curious to see if he makes a highlight play. Justin Williams, the 5-star linebacker, looks like an absolute freak show. He's number 19. I forget which team he's on, but number 19 in your program and in your hearts. Ellis Robinson, KJ Bolden will be interesting. Like Lance said, Roger Robinson, Branson Robinson. He won't play today, but he looks really good. He doesn't have a brace or anything on that injured knee, so he physically looks pretty good. Do any of the edge rushers do anything? I think it was in this game last year, Damon Wilson made a few plays. Does Joseph Jonah-Janye do anything? Does Quintavious Johnson do anything? Do any of those new guys up front kind of make a couple splash plays here and there?
Looks to me like the red team is going to be first team offense. We've got Carson Beck on that team. Black team is going to be first team defense for those that are going to be watching. What's it look like in terms of filling out the stadium right now? Hey, whoa, there's Patrick Garvin.
Oh,
watch out.
Yeah, Patrick Garvin signing. He did that on purpose, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's filling in okay. I mean, the whatever side the skybox on, south side, is mostly closed just because construction's going on. They have a few rows down in the front where people are sitting. I would guess that's like player family and stuff. When I came back here, it was filling in as a decent crowd. I mean, it's not going to be, 75,000 people, but it's just a beautiful day. People are coming out. That's obviously also Masters Sunday, so a lot of people are going to be watching the Masters. Myself included, once this game is over. So it's a decent crowd. And also there's just not a lot of, I guess, major drama. Like, it's not a quarterback competition, stuff like that. So it'll be a good crowd. It's not going to be what, Dane, you had that great story looking back on the 93 K-Day in 2016. It's not going to be like that. But it should be a solid crowd, and weather helps with that for sure.
Got anything else for the man in the press box there, or let him get back to eating his hot dogs before the game starts, Dane?
I mean, we can let him get eyes back.
We got Honey Baked Ham today.
Hey!
Boxed up Honey Baked Ham lunch.
Okay.
Dad, I'm gonna text you so we can share a tea time soon, because I feel like I've meant to do that 4 times already, and that hasn't happened.
Dude, I played so much golf last weekend. We had my brother's bachelor party last weekend. We played twice in 2 days, but I got the itch so bad. So anybody out there, if you want tea time in the next till official visits start in June, I'm your guy. So.
Yeah, are we looking over under, Jed? Let's go 1.5 commits during G-Day. Well, not during G-Day, but this weekend.
I would go over. I go over now for sure.
Would you go over 1.5 then?
How long do we have? Like till the end of the day tomorrow?
Yeah, till the end of the day tomorrow.
Just for fun, I'll go over. I don't know necessarily who it would be. I mean, there's one that we're kind of feeling confident about. But just for funsies, I'll go over. Maybe not necessarily 2025. Maybe a 26 kid pulls the trigger. But yeah, for fun, I'll go over.
Nice.
All right, you're. I'll give you a pick 'em here, Jet. More total yards in this G-Day game.
Ooh.
Andrew Paul or Cash Jones?
Cash Jones, because Cash Jones is going to hit a wheel route for about 30 yards. I feel it in my bones. Like I felt Tiger was going to make the cut yesterday. I feel a 33-yard Cash Jones wheel route touchdown out of the corner of the end zone.
Here we go. If you're betting on it in Vegas, that'd be a crazy line. But if you can find
if you're betting on this in Vegas, you've got some serious problems. First of all, but if you're not confronting those problems yet, that'd be a solid bet.
Right. Jed May, the one and only. We appreciate you, my friend. Get back to work.
Yeah, guys. We'll see you later.
See ya. Just to pull that back up for me, Danny, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this is Black Roster.
Yeah. So, well, real quick, Fred F says, "Where's the boss, Roddy?" He is at the Masters. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's look at this real quick. Some new numbers that folks are going to be wondering, who the heck is that? I'm trying to run down it. Number 12 is Ryan Puglisi. He's obviously not going to be in. 13, Michael Jackson is the USC transfer wide receiver. So
and I think a lot of people have forgotten about him with some of the other headlines with receiver transfers. I think London Humphreys was first that came in, right? And then Colby Young's so tall. I really don't know what we're going to see with Michael Jackson from USC. So what role does he play? What, is he a guy that is under the radar that can produce for Georgia? This is kind of one of those games that maybe we begin to see flashes.
A guy that a lot of people are talking about in the chat, Jonel Aguero, wearing number 8. So he's going to be a guy you see a lot more of this year. So go ahead and get used to him in your secondary there. Also, London Humphreys, the wide receiver transfer from Vandy, number 16 there. So 2 new wide receivers, 13 and 16 transfer guys. 18 is going to be Sokovi White. And again, this is on the black team. So this is the second team offense. Sokovi White's the freshman there.
And I'll point out a couple of the walk-on quarterbacks that I think you'll see in the latter part of this game with Colin Drake, Sam Bush. They'll be passing to some of these guys from here. But I also do think you could see, Gunnar Stockton's on this squad, but when Carson Beck's done playing for the red side, I think Gunnar could potentially go over there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who – they have only so many quarterbacks on these rods. I only saw 4. I looked at it quite a bit. I only saw 4 quarterbacks. So we're going to see a lot of Colin Drake and Sam Bush. Colin Drake actually threw a 2-yard pass in the Orange Bowl against Florida State from Ennis, Texas, number 26. And then Sam Bush, number 27. He's going to be a redshirt freshman from Athens Academy right down the road. So those 2 guys, interesting guy I'm looking forward to. Number 23 on the black team, Jaden Riddell. So he is the tight end, that they say looks like Brock Bowers in terms of physicality. I'm curious to see if he can do it on the field. He hasn't had much talk about him really all spring. He was kind of one guy that I had circled early on.
One note with tight ends too is that Georgia still has help coming after spring.
Correct.
With Ben Urosic from Stanford. So if it feels like Georgia's a little thin at tight end, well, it is after the medical disqualification that happened with Pierce Spurlin, and so they'll be having help come at that position. I think that's one throughout the year, even as is. With Urosic coming in, they're going to be thin. I don't think that's a room that can handle too many injuries. And if you think about the last couple of years, Georgia's had quite a few injuries at tight end. Right. So Oscar Delp has been kind of the steady force there. I think that'll be needed for this team.
So folks are saying I can't find the channel, and then Jermaine says it's complicated. So we'll let Paul explain how to stream it. Yes, thank you, Jermaine. So it's going to be on SEC Plus. So if you have ESPN Plus, so for me, I have Hulu Live TV, which grants me access to ESPN. So if you go to the ESPN app, or you can go to it through your Hulu or YouTube, it's going to be on SEC Network Plus. So really the plus means you're not going to find it on a standard channel on like DirecTV or anything like that. It's going to be over the air is how you're going to be able to get that. ESPN Plus is where you'll find that at. The only team that is on ESPN this weekend is Alabama. With all the Masters coverage, A-Day is going to be the only one that you can actually watch on a actual physical channel there. Real quick, I'll try to get through this roster as fast as I can. 33, Chauncey Bowens. He's going to be the freshman running back. You'll see a good bit of him. Let's see. I'm trying to go a little quicker here. Malachi Tolliver and Michael Uni, 2 freshmen. 3, Kelton Smith as well, freshman lineman that I'm sure you'll see a good bit of. And then who else?
I mean, a lot of these offensive linemen, I think, are contributors this season. Monroe Freeling is one that we've seen some already. Don't know if he'll be starting this season with what Xavier Truss brings, just with experience, but I do think that he'll play a lot. You know, if you have certain injuries happen, you could even see guys like Drew Bobo get some action in there, because Georgia, you know, we don't know what that backup center spot looks like, because Cedric Van Brand held the starting spot for so long that he had multiple backups leave and move on to do other things. I mean, Austin Blasky was in that position, and now he's at UNC. So who's behind Jared Wilson now that he's the starting center? I think Drew is in that mix.
One guy to watch on this black squad, number 93. I think he is the catalyst for this defensive line, and he's kind of the guy nobody talks about. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, going to see what he can do, hopefully fully healthy. And then obviously
I don't know that he's playing in G-Day, though, correct? I think he's still banged up from early.
Yeah, I don't think so. But if he is out there, watch for 93. You got Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen at middle linebacker there, as also Smile Munden. Can you pull that red roster back up real quick?
We'll flip over to the red roster.
Just so we can let some folks know on a couple numbers. Timothy Rumley says 20 is an eye to keep, one to keep on as well. That's Ja'Cory Thomas. He is going to be definitely one to keep your eye on for sure.
Here's our red roster.
Chadwick Irie says, who are the guys on the team that you have heard that are headed to the portal, Paul and Dane? Not ready to really discuss that yet, because I think that there's still some to be played out with G-Day. I think a lot of guys are kind of seeing how many reps they can get in this game. Any other takes on that, Dane? I don't want to start throwing out guys' names if we don't I don't think we truly know any of them.
I would be more comfortable saying position groups that I've kind of heard that there could be some movement there. The first one that comes to mind is cornerback, but you know, you look at some of the talent Georgia has at linebacker. Wouldn't be surprised if one of those inside linebackers further down in the depth chart seeks overtures elsewhere, just because there's so many young guys playing there. So if you're saying,
and also the offensive line, Dane, they brought in 6 guys. You know, it's tough to keep that many guys fed when you have 5 positions. I know it's a lot of positions that you can start, but it's just
the only other one I would mention is probably wide receiver. And Georgia brought in a lot at transfer. Sometimes when you bring in the transfers, and if they get more playing time than guys that have been there for a little bit, which I guess Georgia doesn't have a ton of that right now, it gets easy to compare yourself to others on the roster. And in this world of NIL, you can find a place to go pretty quickly. But most people that enter the portal, they already know where they're going. We'll put it that way.
Here on this list here on the red teams, this is going to be the red team is the first team offense, guys. First team defense is going to be black. Roderick Robinson. I think probably, Dane, if I had to take a guess, the one guy that has been hyped up the most this spring, Roderick Robinson.
Mainly because I think he stands out in that group so much. I still think, you know, suspension, we'll see. I'm not sure. Trevor Etienne is running back 1. I think in terms of talent in that room, when healthy and seasoned, Branson Robinson's right up there too. But Roderick's been, I think he has surpassed expectations so far. When he first came to Georgia, I just kept hearing he's a big guy. He's probably a little too slow for SEC. I've been impressed with him. I really have.
Yeah, he's gonna be one that a lot of folks, I feel like, on the after show, which we'll do about a 45-minute POS show afterwards. We'll jump back on here with you. We might get some of the crazies like Eddie and Andy to join us for a little bit and just kind of go wild after the show and overreact to the G-Day, because that's what we do here. Roderick, I think, is going to be one that a lot of folks are going to be talking about after the game. Another one that a lot of folks are going to be talking about, and not to just say one because there are 2, but both number 1s, Ellis Robinson and Trevor Etienne. I'm curious to see if Etienne is playing today. I wanted to ask Jed that if he saw him warming up. I forgot to ask him.
He had been back at practice, and I know he scrimmaged in the last week. So I expect he'll probably play a little bit, but that doesn't mean anything for his status against Clemson.
Correct.
We don't know that for sure, and I don't suspect Kirby Smart has incentive to tell us.
Correct. But number 1, Ellis Robinson, and then right behind him, number 4, KJ Bolden. You'll see both those guys with the second team defensive backs out there going up against, pretty stout first team offense for Georgia. So if they're able to stand out today in a good way, that's a great thing. 2 guys I'll be watching, and then you've got Colby Young. That's a big name that came from Miami. His number is number 8. So he'll be out there along with Ra Thomas, Lawson Lucky, and Dominic Lovett, really rounding out that starting group of, I say that. Oscar Delp is out there as well.
Let me call out a couple of names here too, Paul. Arian Smith has had a fantastic spring from all accounts. So he's a guy that can really make a pop in G-Day. And then really in terms of what we're going to see, this is not a football game. Everyone knows that. This is a scrimmage. It's a showcase. Georgia's going to pass a ton. It's not going to do a lot of physical things at the line of scrimmage. If any position group can show out in this game, it's wide receiver, because you're passing a lot and the defense is playing very limited coverage, so they don't show things that they're doing. So wide receivers will pop in this game. I think Arian Smith is one of those. If you're a defensive back and can make a play on one of those guys in a one-on-one situation, that's a really good showcase too. A guy that I haven't heard a lot about this spring, but watching him play at Swainsboro, I just think DeMello Jones is a future star for Georgia. So, he had a few health things after that Swainsboro stint when they went to the state championship. So I don't know if we're going to see much from him in this game, but in terms of his Georgia career, I'm really high on the future for DeMello Jones.
You've got a lot of freshman defensive players on this Red squad, with Chris Cole being there, Justin Williams, both linebackers. Justin Williams, number 19, is an absolute freak. You'll see him out there. You've also got Andre Evans, number 23. He's going to be a new number for you on the field. Chris Jones, number 28, also a new number. I get him confused with Kyron Jones, which also could be a new number for you. He didn't play much last year. Quintavious Johnson, kid from Mays High School, number 33. And just a few names to be looking out for there. Also, as we go down the rest of this Red squad, you're going to see all of your starting linemen there, as well as number 55, Jamal Jarrett. He has been talked about quite a bit this spring with trimming down some fat and getting a little faster. And another guy that we haven't talked about really much at all, and Eddie brings it up, have heard nothing about Xavier McLeod, number 94. He's a transfer from South Carolina. Dane, what do we know about him?
Well, we know that talent is there for Xavier McLeod. That was never an issue. From the people that I've talked to that watched him a little more closely at South Carolina, his energy and effort wasn't always consistent there. So he was the one that you didn't always know what you were getting, and a lot of times it wasn't the best version of himself. I'm curious to see if at Georgia, with fewer eyes on him and he can kind of be part of the pack, what energy does he bring? That's something that you can show in a G-Day game that say, hey, I care about this. I care about this team. It's important for me to make a name here. He's also a guy that he has about a year to pop here for NFL future. Otherwise, he's one that could be cycled out and football career could be over way faster than he thinks it could. And I think he's just too talented for that. So for a defensive line rotation and a position that I feel like that's been – Kirby Smart made one comment about defensive line not being as dominant as when you had Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. And yet all of a sudden people were saying Kirby saying there's defensive line issues. They're just saying you don't have Jalen Carter, which is like the Rams next year saying we don't have Aaron Donald.
Exactly. Let's see here. So, guys, we've got just a few more minutes till the start of the game. Again, we've got some folks asking if we can stream it on here. Absolutely not. We can't. It's against broadcasting rights. We'll lose our YouTube channel. You never get to see Dane's smiling face ever again. So we can't do that. What you can do, though, head over to ESPN Plus. You can watch it on there. You can watch it, on your computer, on your TV, however you want to watch that. We will have a recap at the end of the show. No video, though. That will be saved for the Film Don't Lie. You're going to do a Film Don't Lie on this, obviously, yeah?
I know I'm at least pulling some clips just to throw out on Twitter during the game. We'll see if any of that warrants a Film Don't Lie. Because, typically we like to show what it means in the context of a formation and a play. I really think this is more just about individuals making, if they juke someone or something like that. So I don't know
type plays, more Twitter type plays. Yeah.
Right. I think it's just kind of like a fun hang and here's some plays. But I do think me and Brent Rollins are going to talk some NFL draft tomorrow night after your Sunday show. So
nice.
We may have one there. And
Brian Race says, anyone else think it's disrespectful that you can see Ohio State spring game on Fox, but you have to ESPN Plus to watch USC? So Ohio State is obviously a Big Ten school. They have a deal with Fox, so Georgia cannot be on Fox. Yeah. I'm sure Fox would love to have Georgia on.
This is an interesting point from Brian, though, because increasingly college football is becoming like Apple and Microsoft, where they make these products that they don't like to interact and work with each other because they're like really staunch competitors. And I think that ESPN through SEC and then Fox through Big Ten, it's going to begin to feel that way.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to see from now on. So don't get your hopes up too much there to see Georgia on Fox anytime soon.
Big Ten's a green text message.
Yes, it is.
We have that blue text.
It is. Guys, we appreciate you so much for tuning in with us. Just a couple more minutes. Go get you a nice stiff drink, and we'll watch the game together, and we'll see you back here after for about 45 minutes of the craziest post-game overreaction show you can imagine. So for Dane Young, I'm Paul Maharry. Jed May, Lance also join us from UGASports.com. We'll see you in just a few. Thanks for joining us.